Protagonist seat ASMR.
Rattles chains, crumples paper.
Crumples paper. Get ready. Here's the paper crumpling.
Now just imagine I'm gently tapping my nails on the microphone.
People love ASMR,
But
right?
I don't have any nails.
This is the Protagonist seat. We are not actually ASMR. We can be if you want to. Comment if you want us to.
Please don't.
Yeah, please don't. We don't want to do the show like that.
I
mean, if
rather not.
anything for the views, though.
Anything for the views. Anything to commit to the bit or to get the views.
Commit to the bit, get the views. I am Alex.
And I am Ian.
And he is not a doppelganger.
We are not doppelgangers.
We're not doppelgangers.
Because it's the perfect passphrase. Because it's so dumb, no one's ever gonna suspect it.
Yeah, no one's gonna think that doppelgangers would say they're not doppelgangers.
Except maybe not doppelgangers.
Yeah. All right, so starting on JoJo, hello, Jean-Pierre Polnareff. Goodbye, Jean-Pierre Polnareff.
Yes, our favorite boy shows up and is then promptly dispatched.
He, I think he wounded Diavolo far better than well, Rosato was fighting Doppio technically, but he got a good hit on him, and he even commented that almost like did him in.
He did.
Or if he was closer, that would have actually done some serious damage.
He did, but he has the advantage of having already seen Diavolo's stand power, King Crimson, so he already kind of knows the strats.
Technically, yeah. So Bruno's still trying to make his way to the Colosseum, and Doppio offers to help him get there, but Bruno is gone at this point. He's basically almost dead.
Yeah, he's losing it.
He has no senses anymore. He can basically only see, like, spirits.
He can see people's souls.
Yeah, and because Diavolo and Trish are father and daughter, he thinks she's Trish just by seeing his soul. He thinks it's Trish.
Yeah, instead of seeing his soul in Trish, because as the father, he came first, he sees it the other way around. But that's fine. It's JoJo shit. It gets the plot moving along.
And he has him bring him to the Colosseum. Meanwhile, Doppio is trying to make sure they don't get spotted by Mista and the group. And there's a part I liked where they're both hiding, and then all of a sudden he's like, doo-doo-doo-doo-doo.
Oh, yeah.
He picks up the phone. He's like, "What are you doing calling me right now? He's gonna find out."
And it's so good because Bruno's eardrums are blown out because he did that with the fight with Oasis. So of course he can't really fucking hear him.
Even though he responds to Polnareff after. But yeah, it's a little inconsistent.
Yay.
And then they reach the Colosseum, and Polnareff's like, "Hey, who's that with you?" And he's like, "That's Trish." And he's like, "Sounds like a girl's name." And then the boss is like, "Listen, you just need to say, is that a problem with it being a girl's name?
Is it a problem that I'm a girl?"
And he says it in like the most like, "Is it a problem that I'm a girl?"
And he falls.
And Polnareff's like, "I guess I said something I shouldn't have.
It seems like I've offended this woman." Well,
but then he sees that Polnareff's kind of poking out of the shadows is the arrow, and then he immediately realizes, wait a second, I know who that guy is. And you get a little history from both of them that the one who found the stand arrows that basically ended up giving, I think, Dio his stand, was Diavolo. When he was working on a dig in Egypt, he found 6 stand arrows, and he sold 5 to Ebona, the stand user of, I think her stand, was it High Priestess? Or Empress?
Yeah, I think hers was Empress.
Yeah, basically Jay Giles' mom.
Yeah.
She sold him, he sold her 5 of the arrows, and he kept 1 for himself. And Jotaro and Polnareff, after part 3, agreed to track down the arrows. Which is why Jotaro ended up in Morio for part 4.
Yeah.
Because he was tracking down the arrow that ended up in Okinasu's brother's hands.
And meanwhile, Polnareff was searching for the one that ended up in Diavolo's hands.
And he realized it might be in Italy due to the recent spike in crime there. But he made the mistake of basically underestimating Diavolo, where Diavolo ended up finally completing his criminal organization, so Polnareff got isolated where he couldn't contact anyone from outside the country. And he went toe-to-toe with Diavolo, and they fought each other. And Polnareff almost died, which is why he's missing an arm, an eye, and both of his legs.
Yep. He got very lucky in the fact that he did not die.
Mm-hmm.
But he comes back, and that's their backstory. And then Diavolo begins to make his slow ascent.
And he's like, don't come up the stairs. And then he's like, I know who you are, Jean-Pierre Polnareff. And he takes off his shirt, and then now he's bigger, and he has lipstick and polka dots in his hair.
Yeah.
Basically, he goes full JoJo character.
Yep, now he looks like a real JoJo villain. And there's a lot of like, I need to get that arrow. You can't get that arrow. No, time just skipped a little bit. Something's going on.
But Polnareff, since he's fought King Crimson before, knows the shtick, so he bites his thumb, causing him to bleed, and he uses the blood droplets to tell when time has skipped.
Yeah, I thought that was real cool.
Yeah, and he actually manages to get a hit on Diavolo with Silver Chariot, and he even comments, he's like, I see your stand still as deadly as ever. If I had been any closer, that wound might have been even worse.
But unfortunately, Polnareff is now in King Crimson's range, and there's nothing he can do. That's all she wrote for our boy.
So he does a weird thing where he sticks the stand arrow in Silver Chariot's eye.
And then
it starts to, like, melt.
Yeah, it gets all melty, and it starts crawling away. And then Diavolo punches a hole in Polnareff's chest, because that seems to be his sort of main lethal move.
Yeah, he just punches a hole in somebody.
I'm gonna punch a hole right through your chest.
I don't know why he just doesn't punch him in the head. I feel like that's more surefire.
Valid questions.
But he ends up Silver Chariot turns to goop, Polnareff dies, and then after he grabs the arrow and he's like, I have to thank you, Polnareff. Now I've truly won. And then after he sees what looks like a ghost, it's like a I don't know what's really happening. Is it like Polnareff became like a stand ghost?
It looks almost, yeah.
It's like Silver Chariot got like a sort of upgrade.
Yeah, it looks like Silver Chariot is now a sentient ghost, almost, kind of.
Yeah.
So.
And that's where pretty much it ends on, because Diavolo's like, who are you?
And I'm assuming it's going to turn around and it's going to have his face. I'm assuming. I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah. Oh, also the rest of the gang gets there, but they find Bruno and they're just looking around like, what? What's going on? Because we're really slow to react all the time.
We need to figure out what's going on until the plot demands that they need to know what's going on. They were in the area but indisposed, so to speak.
I feel like that the arrow's whole thing is it can power up stands, and generally most stands would be destroyed by it, though. But Golden Experience, I bet, is probably going to... In the theme song, it shows Giorno stab himself with the arrow.
Yeah, so it's in the opening. It's probably going to do that again.
Yeah, and I feel like Golden Experience is going to do some bullshit where it's not going to, like, hurt him, so instead it's going to power him up.
Golden Experience... Oh. I got it. Giorno is going to stab himself with the arrow and then turn the arrow into, like, cells in his leg. So now he just has the arrow inside of him. I'm calling it, dude. I'm calling it here.
Oh,
it's
so
official.
He can't get the arrow.
Exactly. So Diavolo can't get the arrow. And Giorno is permanently powered up by it. And then they fight. And since Giorno's power is ill-defined, he's going to have some new bullshit. And then he's going to win.
I saw people arguing about, since they're both time-based, who would win between Dio and Diavolo. And I really don't think that's even an argument.
Yeah.
One's a vampire.
One
like
is
punching a hole through Dio doesn't really do much.
Yeah, I feel like he's gonna punch a hole through Dio, or he would punch a hole through Dio, and then Dio would be like, "All right, cool. Now you're in my lethal range. Let me just twist you in half."
Yeah, because King Crimson skips time, and the world stops time.
So he would come out on top.
Yeah, I feel like stopping time's better than skipping it.
Yeah, because
he technically can't see time. He can see time, like that's things that are about to happen, but he can't see things that technically aren't, since stop time is just not there. Because it technically exists outside of time.
Yeah, Dio would definitely win.
Yeah.
But Dio has been dead for a long time, so we're not going to worry about that.
Well, Dio always finds a way.
No one's ever really gone.
No one's ever really gone.
Fuck that, man.
Fuck Disney.
That. Fuck Disney.
But you know who don't fuck? Don't fuck the shield hero. Help the shield hero.
I mean, now Fumi's a handsome man.
Yeah, well, okay, fuck the shield hero. But
don't fuck him over.
Don't fuck over the shield hero. Or else your name will be like garbage.
Yeah, or bitch. Man, that shit was so good this episode.
So the queen calls Naofumi in and tells him that she's hosting a party and wants him to attend. And he's like, "Why did you call me here to tell me this?" And she's like, "Because you wouldn't show up if I didn't."
Yeah, I really needed you to show up for this one, and I know you'd skip out if I told you ahead of time.
And they go to do the class upgrades, and Raftalia and Philo, he gives them the option to choose their classes themselves. Raftalia doesn't know what to choose, and Philo can't because of her Ahogi.
Yeah.
And they mention Fitoria in front of the queen, and turns out, just like Melty, the queen really likes Philolials, or whatever they're called.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a funny little character thing.
Yeah.
I enjoyed that.
They like the birds.
They both fucking really like the birds. And the chocobo.
The party's just a pretense for her to have the heroes meet together and kind of form a council of heroes.
Yeah, that goes great.
Yeah, as one would expect, they all hang out, and then they immediately all just start kind of shitting on each other. Not even just Naofumi anymore. Like, they're now like they're assholes to each other now.
Yeah, because everyone has their own different philosophy about weapon strength. Because, like, Itsuki's like, it's all about weapon rarity. And then Ren chimes in with, nah, it's about the weapon proficiency.
And then Motiyasu's like, no, you're both wrong. It's all about stats.
It's all about the stats.
And then Naofumi ends up later being like, huh, they're all right.
They're all right and wrong at the same time.
You can incorporate every single element.
Because
have a high proficiency weapon that's super rare with really good stats.
Exactly. That's all you need.
In fact, I feel like that's actually dumb on their parts to not, like...
You know...
I don't know, whatever video game they played, they were all playing it wrong.
Yeah, I suspect they were playing different video games.
I mean, I guess technically Motoyasu's the most correct, because I don't think rarity matters if, like, the rare weapon does less than the unrare one.
True.
So, yeah, that's the only time I'll say that. Motoyasu is the most right. He is the most correct.
He is the most correct in this one niche situation.
And he will never be the most correct again.
No, fuck him.
And meanwhile, while they're doing this... At a party, one dude in the Bow Guys party starts shitting on Naofumi.
This was not a good episode for Bow Guys' like image overall, because he was getting real condescending about some of the shit. Like, oh, you didn't know that you could just teleport to places you've been before, or you didn't know that you could just copy a weapon by holding it.
I actually read a little bit of manga, and in this scene they do it a little better, where he meets with him and he's like, all right, I'm gonna tell you guys how I got more powerful, but you gotta tell me how the game works. And they're like, what? And he's like, no bullshit, no making fun of me because I don't know how it works, just tell me how it works and just give me the basics.
I like that a lot.
It's more like he's just I don't know, I feel like the phrasing in that just works better.
Yeah.
Because he basically just says, yeah, I don't know how any of this works. Just tell me.
It might have
Give me the basics and the simplistics.
it might have been a little bit lost in translation, but
Maybe.
I don't know.
But yeah, Bogai's one of his party members starts talking shit about Naofumi while he's drunk, and Raftalia is not having that.
And he's racist too, because of course
he
is.
Yeah, he hates demi-humans, and he basically is shitting on Raftalia. And then her and him get into a fight, and she's just way better than him.
Yeah, she wrecks his shit, and it turns into a ballroom blitz. Ballroom blitz.
Everybody in everybody's party starts fighting, because not only does he insult the Shield Heroes party, he's like, you know what, the only hero that matters is Itsuki. All the other heroes should just fuck off. And then you can see some of the other party members of, like,
and
the
the
other
man
heroes'
in the
parties,
backseat
like,
everywhere
yeah.
attacking and turn into a ballroom blitz.
And everybody starts fighting.
Yeah, and just shit goes down. But
we find out that there's a island that every now and then, I guess, has this...
every 10 years it gets an EXP boost to the things you kill on the island.
So everyone's going to go to the island and grind, basically.
And that is
Which,
literally
I guess,
the explanation they give.
guess that works if the arc's just that for, like, the next 2 episodes.
Maybe we'll get a little bit of bonding. Maybe we won't.
Oh, and along the way, they stop by Raptalia's hometown to pay, like, tribute to her friend and her family that passed away. And then they meet 2 new people who are probably going to be important because they are in the opening.
And they also show up at the very end on the boat.
Yeah, because it turns out they're also sharing a room with them on the boat. It is dude in the opening who uses a scythe, and girl who casts magic, it looks like.
Scythe Man also calls Naofumi lad, which I think is real good.
Naofumi's like, dude, I'm 20.
And this dude doesn't even look that much older than him.
He looks younger, honestly.
Yeah.
He's just taller.
He looks like prototype Kukulane, just with red
looks
hair.
like Proto-Ku.
Just with red hair.
And he's got a pole arm. It fits.
And I kind of like him. Even though, because, like, he doesn't seem like an asshole. He's just a dude. I'm sorry. Everyone looks a lot younger to me.
I feel like if he finds out now Fumi's maybe one of the heroes, I feel like maybe he's the, like, I don't know. I feel like that's going to change their dynamic. Where he's going to probably be an asshole.
I mean,
seems like the type of person. He has red hair, so he's probably the competitive type.
I know, it's gotta be. But I kind of hope not. Because I like him so far, and I don't want to hate this character.
People with red hair are never chill.
Yeah. Maybe Mage Girl won't be chill, because we haven't really had any kind of interaction with her. Maybe her big interaction is she's going to be like, look, I know you're the shield hero. You got to fuck off, like, right now.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe she won't be chill.
Maybe. But one of them is definitely not going to be chill.
Regardless, I love this show, and I'm going to miss it. Please, Season 2.
Please, Season 2, please. Rice and bless. That's me dropping Twitch emotes in a podcast.
I don't use enough Twitch to know.
I use too much.
Demon Slayer, Kimitsu no Yaiba.
Demons are slain.
So...
prey, slaughtered.
He killed the first guy. Well, he cut his head off, but he's still alive for a little bit so he can knock him around with arrows more.
And he knocks the shit out of him.
Yeah, and the only way he can keep himself from getting slammed into something is by doing an attack, one of his special attacks.
So he just rattles off special attacks for a while.
Basically, he's never done that many in succession, so he uses up all his energy to just keep himself from getting absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, and I kind of like that.
And he's out after the guy finally burns away because he ran out of, like, time, and then the bad guy... Time. He ends up becoming just ash and dies, and then the arrows disappear. But Tanjiro is out of commission. He can't even grip his sword.
Yeah, he broke a leg and a rib, and he's so exhausted he can't even close his hand over his sword. So what does our boy do? He puts his sword in his mouth.
Goes Roa Noa Zoro.
Yeah, and starts crawling towards the fray.
And as he does that, the rest of it's just Nezuko fighting Arm Girl. And basically, I kind of liked this where she's just throwing the ball at Nezuko and she keeps kicking it back.
Yeah.
And then after they both just start kicking, and to see who can kick it hardest.
It becomes the world's most intense game of death soccer.
Yeah, and it's just back and forth, and it gets faster and faster, and the thing's basically got the force of a cannonball.
Yeah, and eventually a six-armed girl bows out and dodges her head, and then the ball freaking pounds into the wall behind her.
And the doctor lady's like, all right, there's one way I got to end this, where she's like, hey, do you know the true name of Kabutsuchi or whatever his name is?
Yeah.
Michael Jackson.
Do you know Michael Jackson's... She actually said that, and I was like, his name is Michael Jackson. I knew it. That is going to be the twist.
Yeah, she's like, do you know his true name? And she's like, why would you ask that? And she starts doing that scent thing, and apparently you can't tell lies when it, like, pops up, and she ends up saying his name, which I guess is, like, a taboo.
Yeah, he doesn't like his ID getting out there.
And because she said it, it triggers a thing where... because his cells are inside them, because that's how he makes demons. He puts his own cells in other people.
Almost like another villain, Dio.
Yeah. And he ends up, his curse takes over, and she starts freaking out and tries to start begging, saying, I didn't know, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
And then arms shoot out of this woman's body.
And then I'm assuming they just... because you hear it for a while, I think they just tear her apart.
Yeah, because all that's left is an eye,
an arm, and like a bloody pool.
Yeah, because it's not even like a full arm. It's like a forearm and hand.
And then after the doctor lady takes Nezuko and everyone inside because the sun's coming up, and Tanjiro's just kind of looking over the remains of the six-armed chick.
Walking around on his broken fucking leg.
Yeah, he starts walking again and goes downstairs and stuff and seems fine.
He tromps down those stairs.
I think he just kind of forgot that his leg was broken.
It's the breathing exercises.
Yeah. Or maybe the author was just like, oh, I'll say he has a broken leg because that sounds cool after a battle.
It feels broken, but it's actually just a minor sprain.
Yeah, and then he like looks over the body of the girl, and also the ladies, like the doctor ladies, tells them, yeah, these were definitely not the 12 demons that served the main guy, because they were way weaker.
Yeah, the 12 demons are a lot stronger than these jobbers, so like, get ready for that. Also, the 12 demons have numbers engraved on their eyeballs. And that's a little fucked up.
And she offers to take Nezuko in, since, you know, Tanjiro is going to be traveling, doing dangerous stuff. But then Nezuko holds his hand, and they're like, you know what? Nah, me and Nezuko, we're going together.
We're good. Thanks for the offer, though. And
then we don't have to see that lady anymore. She was fine, but I hated the other dude.
Yeah, that dude was he was a shit.
Fuck him, I hated him.
Goodbye.
And that was that 3 episodes. Took 3 episodes to get through that.
Yeah, that seems a little excessive.
Yeah. And now he's and then the episode ends with him coming across lightning dude, yellow dude.
Yeah, episode 10, and we finally actually met another character from the intro.
Yeah,
and
we saw them at the thing, but that's all we did was just see them.
Yeah, where they have like maybe 2 to 3 lines, and then it's fine.
Yeah.
But now he's going to be back. So episode 11, we're going to meet a side character.
Finally.
I
do feel like this show needs to get going.
Yeah, it needs to pick up its pace just a little bit.
Yeah.
Opposite.
We got a new season coming out, you know. If this is going to like continue being this, I'd rather like, you know, squeeze something new in.
Me too. Like Dr. Stone.
I think if we get to like the or like the end of the season, because this is a 2-core,
yeah,
and it just really hasn't done anything, I think I might just drop it in favor of stuff for the new season.
Yeah, I think that's probably the best bet, Because it's better to experience something new that could end up being fucking awesome
than something that's just okay.
Yeah.
Like, it's fine. I'm fine with watching it. I'll probably still watch it on my own time. It's just...
I'll probably wait for the rest of it if we drop
I'm not gonna,
it.
If we drop it, I'm gonna watch it in, like, bulk, where I'm like, all right, 3 episodes. I missed the latest 3 episodes. I'll just watch them all at once.
Exactly. Helpful Fox. Senko-san.
One show that I am glad is not 2-core, because I'm tired of this.
Running out of steam.
I'm good.
It was, let's see.
They cook a Western dish at the beginning.
Gratin.
Yeah, they cook gratin.
It's the ladies. It's all the ladies together, and they're cooking, and it's good because, of course, it is. And then I forget what the other half is.
The other half, the first half, they're cooking gratin, and then the second half, they are...
I watched this today. Why can't I remember?
I watched it yesterday. I don't remember. I don't know. I think we should drop Senko-san because I don't think we're into it at all anymore.
There's something about, like, I'm fully down with this, but I'm committed to figuring out what the hell the other half was.
So they cook the gratin, and then he comes home, he eats it, and then that's fine.
And then everyone likes it.
Is the second half a Shiro bit? I don't think it is.
No. I remember comes home and he's hot. Because he has to wear the jacket. Yeah, it's hot out,
and because the beach one was last week.
Oh, the haircut. She gives him a haircut.
Oh, yeah, I like completely tuned out at this one because I'm just, all it is she's just getting a haircut.
It's all the same formulaic stuff. She gives him the haircut, and then he's like, oh, her hands are so soft, or whatever. Fucking does the same thing it always does.
There's no substance to any of this.
And then she washes it. That's it. She washes it after. And it does the same exact thing.
And then she's like, oh, there was actually a part I cut off, but I just put it back on with fox magic.
Oh, yeah. That made me chuckle.
Yeah, it was okay. Not enough to save it.
No. Bye.
Yeah.
Hello, Bocchi.
I think Senko-san's fine just to, like, if you want to wind down and watch it. I don't feel the need to watch it, though.
Yeah.
Like, I don't feel like it's like it has anything to discuss.
No.
There is nothing to discuss because all it is just a self-insert into this guy for this one moment of just, like, either he's getting his ears cleaned, he's getting a haircut, he's got dinner made for him.
I will say I think they casted him very well. The voice actor definitely sounds like a dude who's just fucking tired.
Yeah. Basically, is your life kind of shitty? Do you want to just pretend for a moment you have someone taking care of you who loves you?
Watch this.
Yeah. Because no one really does.
Yeah. Instead of making social connections with people like a normal human being, be weeb garbage and watch this show about a fox.
In fact, watch the later half after the credits because it's specifically you and meant to be you from a first-person perspective.
As I have often said, which was probably a decent indication that this show is not for me, don't make me complicit in this.
Yeah. Thank God it's near the end, though, so we're not going to be low on shows for very long. We got 2 or 3 weeks left and then new season. But what I am going to miss, the one show that I wish was carrying in the next season.
Bocchi.
Fucking Hattori Bocchi.
This show
Dude, I love Bocchi.
I also love Bocchi. I'm going to miss the shit out of this show. It's so good.
Bocchi is like... I feel like Bocchi's on... Like, their humors are kind of different styles, but I like this as much as I liked Miss Vampire Who Lives in My Neighborhood. I like this one more because this actually contends for, like, anime of the season. But
I agree.
Both of those shows I looked forward to just winding down and watching.
Exactly. I think it's important to have one good wind down show. And this is a great wind down show.
Way better than Senko-san because there's more substance to this.
Yeah.
Where it's like, hey, there's plots and stuff. Well, there's a plot and stuff going on, whereas Senko-san's more, this is just kind of meant for you to POV.
And there's actual times that I have laughed at this show. That's how good the comedic timing is.
Yeah.
It's hard to get me to laugh at a show that I don't speak the language of. Because, like...
I loved in this episode when Satoka just only starts speaking English because she's so depressed.
Yeah, she gets so bummed she forgets Japanese. So she's like, goodbye, I go home now. And they're like...
Yeah, she speaks English, but not good English.
Yeah, of course, because everyone's still played by Japanese people.
Yeah.
But it's so good.
It's great.
Satoka is my favorite character because Angrish.
So in this one, Satoka is down because she notices Bocchi's down because she hasn't made any new friends lately. And Satoka is still her apprentice, not her friend, even though Aru and Nako are like, you guys are basically friends at this point. And they're like, no, we're being a super sticklers for the semantics.
Everybody besides them is like, you guys are pretty much friends, right? And they're like, no.
The labels are important.
And, I guess at the end of the day, labels are pretty important.
Yeah. And she goes to... Basically, it's the two of them going back and forth between Aru and Naku for advice.
Yeah. There's one point... actually, that's right at the end. So we...
One part I loved where Aru tries to go over and help them, so she goes and, like, sits on Bocchi's seat next to her. And she's just like, oh, hey, how's your sister? And she's like, my sister? And then she remembers in one of the previous episodes where she wore the elementary school uniform, so she pretended to be her own little sister to avoid the embarrassment.
This part is super good.
And then she was like, she went far away, and she's probably never coming back, and that's honestly for the best.
Yeah, and we'll never see her again, so don't worry about it.
And Nako starts laughing, but then Bocchi starts crying.
Because she's like, oh my god, she's never gonna come back? It is real good. But at one point, they go to a shrine to do shrine things.
They go to do their New Year's prayers.
Yes, that's right. I forgot exactly what it was.
I still don't know if that's a Shinto thing or a Buddhist thing. I think it's a Shinto thing. The temples look Shinto.
I have no idea. But
I like to be culturally enriched. I like to know things.
I am not a worldly man. Let me sit in my little hermit hidey hole, and the rest of the world can fuck off.
I'm a cultured man, Ian. I like to know the very niche things going on in the world.
And I'm a crazy hermit who lives in the woods by himself.
How did we come to shoot a podcast together?
Because I needed a hobby.
And I needed to do charity work, and that's helping you.
That's canon.
That's canon. Ian is a homeless man, and I'm
a homeless man who lives in the woods.
And I'm a wealthy traveler who's doing charity work by helping him out.
And Kenny is a mysterious dog who showed up one day.
For a second, I looked. I'm like, is he down here?
No, Kenny's still upstairs.
Yeah.
But they're going and they're doing. I find their prayers amazing, because everyone has
Aru's is like, I want to be a perfect version of myself.
And Bocchi's like, I want to make friends with everybody. And Satoka's like, I want to be the best ninja. Because at first she's like, I want to be Bocchi's friend.
And the disciplinary girl shows up too, and she's there, and she's like, I want to be a stronger person, because that's her whole thing.
Yeah, and then she leaves, and everyone's like, wait, you're just gonna leave? And she's like, well, I didn't come here with you guys. It's not like we're friends or anything.
She's basically almost part of the group. She's in, I don't know if you watch the ending theme where they're all walking. She's in it now, walking with them.
I did see that. Today is one of the few days I actually watched the end sequence, even though I like it. I like the end sequence.
They had
I don't know
one.
why I don't
Did you
usually
watch the one
it.
where it was like, we never talked about it on the show, but it was like the wah ha ha?
Yes.
And they was like constantly switching like art styles or like backdrops.
I definitely watched that one. That one was amazing.
Can we like do like a single as like ending of the season?
Yes.
Because I feel like last season we didn't give it to the Chica dance, even though like
we should have.
Yeah.
Because it's amazing.
It got memed really hard though.
Because like it comes out of fucking nowhere and it's so high quality.
Mm-hmm.
Like what? Why? Nani?
But the way they solve Bocchi this week is Nako ends up talking to Satoka and it's just like, guys,
just be your friend.
Yeah, just do. You guys can do whatever you want. Just do you.
You just do you, fam.
And she ends up telling her that, you know what? She did pass everything on to me because she didn't want to stop being Bocchi's apprentice until Bocchi passed everything on. But Bocchi basically passed on stuff like her, her kindness and stuff like that.
Being a good person.
Yeah. And so she decided that they should finally be friends, and she goes and throws one of her throwing stars at Bocchi, and she tells her, hey, will you be my friend instead of my master? And Bocchi actually cries at this because it's the first time someone's asked her to be friends.
And I love this a lot even more because, that is just fucking amazing. It's so cathartic. It's great.
It's a very touching scene.
In the note, or in the shuriken, is written a note that says, I like you more than I like ninjutsu. And that's pretty big coming from a girl who has built herself around being a ninja.
That's a pretty good Valentine just because it like rhymes the thing. Like, I like you more than ninjutsu.
I'm going to keep that in the pocket and I'm going to break it out on next Valentine's Day.
That's a pretty good one.
I'm going to make it into a throwing star and I'm going to throw them at people. I like you more than ninjutsu.
I like Bocchi more than ninjutsu too.
Dude,
Bocchi's a fucking great show.
I have had more fun watching Bocchi than I have watching Naruto. So you know what? I do like Bocchi more than ninjutsu.
Bocchi's pacing is a lot better.
Bocchi's pacing is so much better. And I like the characters a lot more.
I do actually really enjoy the characters in this show. I feel like a lot of them, in probably like another series, everyone would be super distinct just so they don't overlap, but they can have sort of like similar characteristics.
Yeah.
Like Aru and Disciplinary Committee Girl are both very they're both very good at, getting things done when it comes to like school stuff. Like how she handled things with the cooking thing.
Yeah.
And she even mentions the Disciplinary Committee Girl. She's like, wow, Hansho Aru, I guess she's a lot more formidable than I gave her like credit for.
Yeah.
And Satoka's very wild and active, but Aru also can be too. But it never really, they can both do that without having that be their own single character. It's like, this is that character. They are the high energy character. This is this character. They are the cool, they're just always cool and collected type.
Exactly.
Or this is this character. They're always smart. Everyone has a little bit of something constantly going.
Yeah, because everyone does have their sort of main overarching thing.
Yeah, Nako is like kind of the cool character, but she actually a lot of the times has like a lot of the heartfelt, In this one, she basically gave like the heartfelt thing to Satoka, who ended up realizing what she had to do, and Aru was even like, you just stole my moment.
Yeah. It's very well written and the characters are very good and you should watch it.
Yeah, I can't articulate it like I want to, but it's good.
We should get Marcus to stop watching Naruto and be like, Marcus.
Yeah, Marcus.
Hitori Bocchi.
I know you like Naruto specifically and like don't want to usually stray too far from that, but dude, Bocchi.
Watch Bocchi.
So you like watching dudes fight with crazy ninja wizard powers. Imagine cute girls going to middle school, making friends with each other and working through their problems. How's that sound?
Pretty hype, right?
Pretty hype. High energy.
High energy social anxiety.
The edge of your seat constantly, like...
That's what I think of when I think of Hitori Bocchi. Edge of my seat, non-stop thrill fests.
Non-stop thrills, Hitori Bocchi.
Because she's always throwing up.
Mm. Oh, I like how she makes friends with the girls that she was in the cooking club with.
Yes.
And immediately passes out.
She goes over and from like the longest distance away is like, hey, will you guys be my friends? And they're like,
oh, hey, look, it's Bocchi.
Yeah, we already were. We're the pancake buddies.
Yeah, we're the pancake pals.
Let's exchange. You want to get pancakes? We'll exchange numbers and we'll all go get pancakes sometime.
Hitori-san, is she fine? She looks like she just passed out.
Already?
And the rest of them are like, oh, that's completely normal.
It was only a matter of time.
Also, I guess Kai-chan, because, again, Aru's actually slightly proficient, Aru got Kai-chan's number, so they actually, like, keep in contact. So she's like, hey, how's Bocchi doing? And she's like, hey, she just made 2 friends.
Yeah, she made 2 new friends today. And Kai shows up in, I guess it's a summer kimono because it's got the short pants.
Yeah. And they're like, aren't you cold? And she's like, yeah, but it's fine.
Yeah, because this one's in either late fall, early winter, so it's getting chilly.
Yeah. It's the New Year's one, so it's in January.
Oh, yeah. I forgot. Everyone generally celebrates New Year's at the same time, except for the Chinese.
Yeah, the Chinese, for some reason, do it at a completely different time.
It's because they have a different calendar.
I'm getting pissed at the Chinese. They have a different calendar. They keep pumping the smog in the air. They bootleg everything.
Oh, what was I watching today where someone was like, you know what pisses me off? Oh, I was watching, it was the newest Best of the Worst, hyped to Red Letter Media. Please sponsor us. But someone was like, I'm pissed. I'm mad. I'm angry. And then it cuts to them on the couches, and Jack's like, I just fucking hate synonyms. They're all they're all having the same meanings and shit. It's real good.
China's, they make a lot of anime now.
They do. China.
They made some Karl Marx anime.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Obviously, it's like propaganda and shit, but like...
Karl Marx anime.
Dude, but it's like young and handsome Karl Marx.
I mean, of course it is.
Also...
I imagine he's built like a JoJo character.
No,
so
he's not
fucking...
that. Nah, he's just a dude.
Oh.
But yeah, they did that. They do some other stuff that isn't directly just like... obviously state propaganda. But
wasn't the puppet one Chinese?
What puppet one?
The one that was puppets.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There was one that was literally like marionette ass puppets.
Maybe. I don't know what you're talking about.
I wish I could remember what the name of it was.
If Japan ever went down, the center for anime would either be in China or France.
So we need to keep Japan running to keep it out of the hands of the commies.
And the frogs.
I didn't want to be the one to say it.
I'm French, so I can say it.
Exactly.
Well, because the French actually produce a lot of stuff. Radiant, for example, the manga artist of that is French.
Radiant was decent. It was.
I actually own a copy of the French version of the manga because I was taking French class up until like 2 months ago, and I was actually just kind of using that as study material.
That's a good idea.
I have that manga in its original language.
That is a good idea.
Yeah. So if I ever decide to practice French harder, I'll get back to that, even though... Again,
probably not.
If it becomes the new cultural center of anime and like Japan ends up underwater or something, I guess that's useful.
That's true. That's a good point. But we always get Like, we love Bocchi, but we always get the fucking the longest tangents.
Well, Bocchi leads to so many other things. Bocchi is a very highbrow show that connects to a lot of things in life.
It is surprisingly cerebral.
Bocchi, we could go on talking all day when relating to Bocchi, but something that will bring us back to a lot more structure, Kono Oto Tamare, The Sounds of Life.
Genki Boy is having some troubles this one.
Genki Boy's having some troubles.
I feel bad because he's always so upbeat and happy, and he gives people hugs and shit.
And they all decide the best thing to do would be to do a summer training camp. And club president guy goes to talk to the club advisor, and the club advisor's like, oh man, a training camp? I don't want to do that. Sounds like a pain. And he's like, okay, then would you please resign as our club advisor and switch with another teacher? And he's like completely surprised by this, but like, whoa.
Holy shit.
He's taking it serious.
And then club president, he's even like, if you're not going to do it, I suppose I could always just go talk to like the vice principal or the principal and see what they have to say. And he's like, hold on.
He's like, I'm going to get in trouble if I have to switch with another teacher. Also, he's doesn't say it outright, but he seems happy that he actually
stood up for himself.
Yeah.
In the club.
And he's like, hey, he's serious now. So
get serious.
So Kurusu. I always forget that every week. Kurusu, her uncle, I guess, owns an inn.
How very convenient.
Someone always owns an inn.
Exactly.
Someone always owns an inn.
There must be so many inns in Japan.
How many people do you know personally that have a relative that owns an inn? Have you ever met someone in your life that knows someone that owns an inn?
I don't think so.
That seems like a really weird thing that just a lot of people have inns. How many people need places to stay? Also, it's like it's a small island. All the land's already like settled.
Yeah. I don't know. I do not know.
I feel like mostly around here and like everything's owned by like a chain or some sort or like a company, like a major corporation.
Yeah,
it's like, hey, the Holiday Inn, that's the inn nearby.
There's a ton of Holiday Inns in our area.
Yeah, I don't think you get like the local, hey, it's a mom and pop bed and breakfast here.
You guys want a bed and breakfast? Because no one fucking wants a bed and breakfast up here. It's like you do that to get away from the homey New England atmosphere, because you get that constantly.
Yeah,
especially if you live up north.
Up in north, up there.
Up north.
If you go up all the way in Maine there.
Yeah. But her uncle owns an inn, so they go to that inn and everything's fine. Well, no, because on the way there, the advisor was like, hey guys, I recorded your last performance and I figured it would be good for everyone to listen to it.
And they do, and it's not very good.
It's awful.
But Genki Boy is realizing, oh man, it sounds awful because of me.
He's having the most trouble with the rhythm.
Yeah.
Just something about it just isn't clicking.
And Kurusu has been trying to teach him, but it just hasn't been working.
And she's been pretty tough on him. I know, because they say that several times.
Yeah, and she even is aware she's been tough on him, but she just thinks she's like, is my teaching style shitty?
Yeah, I don't want to go too easy on him, because if I go too easy on him, he's not going to learn anything.
And they end up getting to the inn, and everyone's all practicing and stuff. And Kudo goes to Hozaki's room, and he's like, hey, I need you to play this part.
I can't get this one part. Play it so I can watch what your hand does.
And he gets real close right behind her, and she gets all a little nervous because she's crushing hard.
She crushes hard on the best boy.
And who could blame her?
Dude, Kudo's an all-in-one package.
He cooks. He's strong. He can defend you.
He plays a cultured instrument.
And he's a quick learner, as we see. He sees her play it twice, and then boom, he's got it.
Yeah, he literally sees her play it twice, and then when they're all practicing,
they do the group session. She's like, Kudo, I thought you had trouble with that part. And he's like, I mean, yeah, but I had you play it, and now I know that's why I did that.
Yeah, then I watched you play it, so now I can just do it.
And the bigger dude, the fat dude in the group, he ends up getting better because he takes the advice of the club president. And this only makes Genki Boy feel more alienated, where everyone is improving.
Except him.
He's the only one who isn't. And they do like a shot where it almost feels like everyone's moving further away from him.
Yeah. It's very well, I don't want to say shot, but very well directed.
Yeah. And in the middle of the night, he gets up and he gets his backpack and stuff together, and you think, oh, he's leaving.
He's leaving. He feels like a burden to his frandos.
And everyone else wakes up, all the dudes, and they're like, hey,
because
where'd he go?
I
think his name's Kota.
Yeah, his name is Kota.
He's like, hey, where'd Kota go?
And there's Sanu, I think.
I forget his name.
Blue-haired guy.
I think his name is Adachi, his surname at least, or something.
Yeah. Adachi gets up to pee and sees
I remember
him
because Adachi's the killer in Persona 4.
Yeah.
Spoiled the game from 2008.
Spoiler alert. He gets up to pee and he's like, oh my god, he's gone. And then he wakes everybody up and he's like, oh my god, he's gone. And they're like, he's gone?
He's
like,
not answering his phone.
Oh my god, he's gone.
We gotta wake up the teacher. And then the girls wake up, and then Kurusu gets really nervous because she thinks, it's my fault.
I chased him away.
I was too tough on him. And then Kudo's running around in the woods, and he ends up finding him. And he wasn't running away. He was just practicing by himself.
Yeah, he just went out into the woods to go practice somewhere quiet.
And
as people are wont to do.
Yeah. And then Kudo kind of hits him in the head, and he's just like, hey, what was that for? And he just explains to him that he's like, yeah, I was feeling down because I'm basically holding you all back. And he's like, but I don't want to give up. I want to still keep at it and get better with you guys. And he's like, and Kudo basically says to him, I want to play the Kodo, but I want to play it with you.
Yeah.
Like, I want to play with all of you guys.
It would suck if you weren't there. And he's like, oh.
And then everyone else shows up, and then the girls show up, and then he basically makes Caruso cry because she ends up seeing that he was practicing, and she's like, he didn't leave because of me.
I didn't chase away a member of the Koto Club. Shit. I ruined it. Gotta do the whole thing over.
Restart the whole episode.
Dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun. So anyway, this is ASMR edition. And the next day, they all get back, and they're trying to figure out how they can just get him on beat. And then the teacher's like, hey, he puts a sticky note on the ground and just starts tapping it with a rolled newspaper and a rhythm. And he's like, grab that, and if I hit your hand, you don't get breakfast. And then he successfully does it, and he's like, there you go. That's the upbeat. That's what you've been having trouble getting.
Yeah, because turns out teacher's been keeping an ear on them the whole time. And he's like, basically your issue is you have mad problems hitting the upbeats.
And he explains how rhythm and stuff work, and it's like, hey, this guy says he's never played an instrument before. I think that's a lie.
I think it's a lie, and I also think he's somehow connected to Kudo's grandfather. Because fucking everyone is in this town.
Or at the very least, the Kodo Club.
Which kind of makes sense.
Which I guess is connected to Kudo's grandfather because he started it.
Everything ties back to Kudo's grandfather. Which, when you come to something like kind of niche, like the Koto,
yeah,
it seems a little unavoidable.
And everyone cries. A lot of people cry this episode.
A lot of people crying. A lot of people grow.
But I actually did like how we focused on a character that I didn't think was going to get any attention.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't think the three stooges of the group were going to get any real character development.
And I'm glad so far at least one of them has.
Because I for the longest time, I'm like, maybe they're just padding so, like, the other characters can have a club. But no, they have real character to them.
They matter.
They matter.
And that's good.
It's a good show. It's good shit. If you're not watching it, why?
Kono Oto Tamare. Watch it. It's very good. Kudo is best boy.
Watch it. Best boy of the season. We don't. There's no debate. He's gonna win best boy of the season.
I mean, Husbando is. If it's not obvious that Husbando is going to Kudo, then
give me one of those like
can't
Kudo body pillows.
Yeah, that's what we need. We need a Kudo body pillow. Robihachi.
Robihachi. This was by far the worst episode of this show so far. I actually didn't enjoy most of this episode besides the ending.
I thought this one was fine. We learn about Robbie's backstory.
Yeah, so it turns out they land on a planet to fix the Hizu Krieger in the ship, which is apparently the place where it was made.
The planet of weebs.
It's just a nerd planet. It's full of otaku.
Fucking weebs.
And apparently these people have a lot of money and they have prolonged lifespans or something, so they have nothing to do but just throw themselves into their hobbies.
Sounds kind of like Japan. Just a little bit.
Well, if you want to make it like Japan, just throw people into working until they literally die of exhaustion.
Good point.
Yeah, this seems like, hey, it's Japan, but if they didn't have to work.
It's idealized Japan.
Yeah. And then they find out that Robbie's grandfather was actually the anime director of the Hizu Krieger anime. And there's a lost episode, the lost episode 12, that a bunch of fans highly sought after seeing. And he gets invited to go to like this special like anime society where people talk about the Hizu Krieger thing. And it's so fucking annoying because it goes on for like 15 minutes.
It was actually painful to watch this.
And it's just them talking about, I don't know if it was like, it's just them talking about how things worked in like the anime industry. And it's just,
if you want a history on a show that's not real.
Yeah, it's the history of a show that doesn't exist. It's so bad. And also, the episode looks like shit. This is the worst looking episode. The budget dropped completely.
I'm kind of, I don't know. I won't even say it. But like, it's just.
I don't know why it looks bad either, because most of this episode is them, the camera panning from person talking to person talking in a circle about an anime that's not real.
It's like when they were metering out the budget, someone was like, oh, this episode doesn't need all that much. But
yeah,
then
but
when
like even
they
the part where they're in like the car, like they're driving, it looks awful.
Well, it was like the whole episode's animation budget. They were like, we don't need to give that much to that episode. And then they started doing it, and they're like, we need more than this. And they were like,
it is, because there's a part like even when Iku gets first off the ship, Robbie and Hachi are behind him.
It looks bad.
They look just slanted. It's just terrible. This episode was the worst looking episode. This was Price of Smiles level bad.
Yeah, and it's weird because like this show looks pretty good otherwise. I don't know why this episode just drops it.
Yeah, like, this was a huge decline. And again, it's not even like that it just looked bad. The content of this episode was awful. It's just 15 straight minutes almost of just them talking about an anime that isn't real. I got to a point where I was like, okay, this has to end soon, right? And then it just keeps panning between characters, and I'm like, oh my god, it's not fucking ending.
It is literally like 15 to 20 minutes.
Well, the episode's like 24 hours, so it's like
that's right.
It's like 10 minutes probably, but it feels so much longer.
It wouldn't surprise me if it was 15 minutes, honestly.
And then finally they realize that Robbie's seen the episode, and they try to strap Robbie to a memory viewing machine.
Yeah, which has the unfortunate side effect of blanking out all of his memories.
And he realizes, he's like, no, and he's like Hachi, Iku, somebody, and then Yang busts in and saves him.
Yeah,
which I thought, I like the ending of this at least, because I'm like, Yang shows up to save Robbie, and he's like, Yang, you came to save me, and he's like, I'll put it on your tab, Robbie.
Yeah, it's like everything after that scene is somewhat enjoyable, but everything before is just terrible.
Because then while they're fighting, he rips open like the dude's jacket that's like the main otaku dude, and then he realizes he's wearing some shirt for some like boys love anime, I think. And he's like, wait a second. He's like, that's the show I used to love as a child, but then they took it off the air because the network took issue with the content of it. So he ends up strapping him to the machine after and making him replay the show.
Because he wants everyone to watch like episode 4, he's like, this is the best episode, so you guys are gonna love it.
And I figure so like Yang's favorite anime is a boys' love.
I mean, of course it is.
Yeah.
When he busts in, he's like, get your hands off of my Robbie.
Again, that was such a good part, and then just the rest of the episode though is just so awful.
Yang is a shining light on this, or like not even this episode, but in the whole show. Yang is consistently some of the most enjoyable parts.
It sucks that he can't be best boy because Kudo's there, but thankfully he doesn't really have a lot of competition for best antagonist.
Exactly. He's so good. We also, I think there's like a little I'm trying to pick like interesting bits of information out.
Oh, yeah. At the beginning, apparently when mankind, like America, was going to land on the moon, they're beaten there by a Japanese civilian who just shot himself in a rocket to the moon, who looks like Hachi, so maybe that's Hachi's ancestor.
I'm thinking, okay, I'm tying threads together now, because Robbie remembers the flashback that's in the last episode where the two main characters of the Krieger show are just kind of laying down, and one of them's like, I want to be a manga movie maker one day.
So you think that was Robbie's grandpa and
Hachi's
grandpa?
Because Hachi's grandpa is like, he's like, I want to be an astronaut. So it would kind of make sense if that's where both of them kind of ended up.
Yeah, and he ends up, Hachi's grandpa, we're just going to call it Hachi's grandpa. Hachi's grandpa ends up on the moon first, and then after he's like, and then he sees an alien there, and he's like, what happened? I got cramps.
I got chronic cramps.
And then he starts rubbing his back, and he's like, and that was the moment first contact was made.
It's
a dude really giving an alien a back rub because he has cramps.
Because he stopped on the moon to get cramps. And like, it's so dumb, but that is I would say, the ideal first interaction, because it's just real wholesome.
And it really fits for Robihachi.
It does.
Yeah, that bit was good, and then the ending bit with Yang was good.
And we also get some information that I think Robbie's curse is hereditary, because apparently anything his grandfather worked on was also cursed. So I think that's a familial thing.
Also, and that's why Robbie's family is rich, because the nerd dude gave him the ship and the Krieger and paid him a bunch of money for their old anime cells.
Yeah. Because in order to fix the Krieger, he's like, I'm going to need a little something. So Robbie finds some more cells and gives it to him. But that's all we got.
Yeah, it's all we got. A disappointing episode for Robihachi, which has been a strong show up until this point. But other than that, everything was pretty good. Bocchi, wonderful as always.
Bocchi.
Kono Oto Tamare, wonderful as always.
Kono.
And everything else was fine. Yeah. And we killed Senko-san because we just couldn't do it anymore. We weren't remembering the plots. The past, it's just been like, it's mush. That's why I mentioned a previous week. Senko-san is goop.
Yeah.
It's just nice goop. There's no substance there. It's goop. It runs through your fingers.
Yeah. That's a good way to put it.
There's nothing to talk about. You just goop it up and you're just like, this happens.
Yeah. But if you enjoyed us rambling like mad men, feel free to like this video and subscribe to our YouTube channel to get updates.
Yeah, or follow us on Twitter at Protagonist Seat,
where you will also get updates.
Sometimes late. I was late. I uploaded last week's episode to Twitter today because I'm like, oh shit, I uploaded it to YouTube, but I forgot to update Twitter.
Oh, well.
This week, it'll be different, though. I'll make sure that doesn't happen again.
I trust you.
And, yeah, if you like us, just send us a like. Let us know. Because you know what?
Yeah.
We like you, so maybe you should like us.
And spread the word to other people that you like.
Yeah, that you like us because we like you. And you know what? We like you more than ninjutsu.
Got him.
Got him. See you next time.
See ya.